Today I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't want Generation 4 remakes. Now, before you get angry, start screaming and crying at me how you have wanted this since 2017, please hear me out, because at the end of this video, I think I will have convinced most of, if not all of you, that having Gen 4 remakes coming up right now at this moment is a terrible idea that will set you up for nothing but disappointment. First of all, let's talk about the people that will most likely be making the Generation 4 remakes. Unless something crazy happens, Gamefreak will be the ones in charge of making the Gen 4 remake. However, let's think about the Gamefreak that will be making these remakes. They are not the ones who made Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Those passionate people who just wanted Pokemon to be the best that it could be, they're gone. These are going to be the people that made Omega, Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire, aka the bare minimum. Now, if you are confused, well, let me give you some backstory. If you didn't know, there was an interview done a while ago about the Omega, Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire games, where pretty much there were a bunch of questions floating around. Now, keep in mind, this is off the top of my head, so all of this will be wildly inaccurate, but pretty much the gist of the interview was people were asking Game Freak, where's the Battle Frontier? Why didn't you include this? Why didn't you include that? And pretty much Game Freak kept it real and said, we know people aren't going to be playing these games for too long. I think they said it like mobile games being the reason, something stupid like that. So pretty much the whole gist that I got from it was, why put in the effort to include something like the Battle Frontier that, you know, probably a lot of people won't even use, or they'll use it once and never touch it again. Why are we gonna put in that work when people are just going to put this game down once they beat the main story, or once they do that, they're just gonna go straight into competitive battling? So that's obviously not what they said word for word, but that is what I picked up from it. Keep in mind, those people who thought that, they're the ones who are going to be making your Generation 4 remakes. They're going to be handling it with that much tender love and care, which, if you couldn't tell, isn't too much. Now, I think this is something we all know that's going to happen when the Gen 4 remakes get made, but they will be running on the Sword and Shield engine, most likely. However, in a best case scenario, they will be made using the the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee engines, because if you haven't noticed, the Sword Shield engine, yes, compared to the DS games, they look phenomenal. However, they do have some glaring errors and can be improved upon dramatically, and I think there is no denying this. I mean, people lost their shit because the trees didn't look good. And think about that. That's pretty much what's going to be used as a base for the Generation 4 remakes. Now, granted, it probably will be improved, but, you know, I wouldn't bet on these Gen 4 remakes looking like something magical. It's pretty much just gonna be Sword and Shield reskinned. Maybe we get a wild area or two if we're lucky. Now, these two reasons, 1 and 2, they're gonna kind of tie into this next reason, being that Game Freak has encountered the perfect trifecta. Now, before you just write this off as some made-up term that I conjured up, let me explain what it means. Pretty much, all three main core demographics of Pokemon are going to be buying this game. The older teens, you know, and some people in their late 20s and early 30s, for the most part, they grew up with Diamond and Pearl. This was the generation where they started playing one way or another. And a lot of major PokeTubers are in this, 20s to 30s range. So you best believe they're gonna have their nostalgia boners on. And, they're gonna be hyping this game up before it even comes out. Before the first trailer even drops. The moment that, announcement drops on February, which will most likely happen. But the moment that shit drops, people are going to be hyping this up to be the best game ever. And you best believe those little kids who are fans of those PokeTubers are going to buy into the hype of those PokeTubers and already have that game pre-ordered. And into addition, there will also be a lot of, Gen 1ers and older fans also, willing to give this game a shot because everyone respects Gen 4. It is arguably the best Pokemon generation. But I really think that this remake will probably be like Oraz, where depending on how much you were expecting is how much you're going to be disappointed by. Personally, like I did with Gen 8, I'm going in with no spoilers and little to none expectations, because I know that will probably lead to me having the best time possible, and I highly recommend that you do the same. But seriously, these will probably just be Gen 4 games, but with a Sword and Shield skin. Nothing more, nothing less, and we'll probably get like some Dynamax forms or something. That's probably what the remake will be, and Cynthia will probably be ridiculously easy to beat. But that is pretty much this video. I'm sorry if it was a little bit more negative than usual, but if you enjoyed more rants on Pokemon related content like this, make sure to tell me down below, and subscribe if you want to see more. But above all else, have a good day.